Always show up early for these corporate ones. It's really important because otherwise you're going to be dealing with a lot of issues getting in and out of buildings. Security is going to hold you up, whatever the case may be. So I like to just show up early, make sure I'm there on time, give myself plenty of time to set up. So my arrival time or my call time or expected time of arrival was 10 a.m. And then I'm expected to be ready to hit record at exactly 12:30. 2.5 hours is a good window to set up. Should be plenty of time. So I'm not too concerned with that. But yeah, simple setup. I'll probably be set up in like 30, 40 minutes. I may even record real time me setting up so you could actually see all the steps I go through, and I may talk through what I'm doing so you can actually see the process of setting up. If you've never set up before, if you're kind of curious how I do it in actual real time, I think that'd be really cool to share. About to go into the building here. Oh, I'm in the freight elevator. You can hear it's a little noisy. My cart fit just fine. Normally in a smaller elevator, that little extension may have been an issue, but it pops right off. So there's some flexibility there. As long as you don't overload it, you could remove it and set it off to the side. So right now, I just got stuck at security for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. They wanted to confirm everything, make sure I was allowed to be there. This was last minute, so I didn't have the ability, or the client didn't have the ability to let security know through their regular process. So I kind of had to get checked out again. Even though I come here often, they know me. They have to confirm because I could be a rogue person trying to go up there for whatever reason. So they want to make sure that everything is safe and clear, and the client does need me there. So we've got that taken care of. Like I said, that ate away about 10 minutes of my time. So you've got to count for that. You will be stuck at security. It could take 30 minutes, but document it. When you roll up to security, take your phone out and then just take a picture. Okay, so you have a time stamp of when you got there, and then take a picture whenever you start working your way up. That's what you gotta push in. Oh, I've made it into the boardroom. Now I'm gonna get set up. So I haven't 100% decided where I'm gonna shoot, but it may be into this corner over here. So we'll have the subject kind of standing right here. We'll key from where all the windows are and go that route. So let's get set up. It's 10:29. I have 2 hours before we have to hit record at 12:30. So let's see what we could get set up. So first thing I'm going to set up is my tripod. I'm going to get it set up and put a camera on. That's priority one. Get my framing, see what we look like. Then after I get my framing, I can start setting up my lighting. All right, there. I'm going to go a little higher. And the reason I'm going to go a little higher is because when I need to, I could drop it quicker than I can raise it up. So it's just a speed thing. Little tip right there. I'm going to bring the camera back a little. Set it right here. And then tripod. But that's what camera is going to be. And I'm going to take the camera out. Pop a battery on. And then bring it over and connect it. Perfect. All right, let's get it fired up. And I'll come in close and show everyone my setup once we're taken care of and done. So firing up the camera, seeing what kind of frame we're gonna get. Lens cap off, putting it up. in the case. I'm going to go ahead and grab the monitor. Like to use a big monitor like this guy, which is the Atmos Shogun Connect, because I like to see what I'm looking at, and that helps me do that. I think I left the little quarter 20 converter inside, so I'm going to take that out real quick. So it's quarter 20 to 3/8. I'm going to remove it, pop it in here so my monitor is not upside down. I don't want to dig through the menus to flip it. And then I'm going to connect my HDMI, make sure it's going into the right port, and then my power, which is going through the V-mount. Get that connected up. Awesome. It's plugged up, fire it up. So I'm at the 50 mil. I'm liking the framing. It looks decent. It's nothing crazy. Let's see. All right. We are leveled out. So you run into a situation where you're like, okay, I want a lot of depth, but then if you have too much depth or too much in the background, it gets too busy for it. So, you see me moving in, you're like, oh, move back, get as much depth as you need. That is a good point. Oh, I guess the monitor is upside down. Oops, display, monitor, flip, perfect. All right. So we're gonna size it up to where it looks nice. It's not looking amazing, but you got to work with what you have. I'm kind of liking this a lot. So shifting things over, moving the frame. What I will do is I will jump in front of the camera and let you see everything. So now that I kind of have the frame up that I'm liking, or that's close, I'm going to go ahead and move the chairs out of the way because they just create a lot of clutter. So this is part of the fun, is you've got to make it as best as possible, not just give up. If you have the time, of course. If this was a 20-minute setup, I couldn't do all this for the setup. It'd take too long. And I'd run out of time. But now I have the availability. So I'm going to be able to move things around. Another thing to consider with corporate is they may not always be used to people filming them. So you got to make the area pretty safe for them to traverse. So you've got to make a clean entrance and exit for them to make it real easy for them. Hopefully this is out of the way. I think it will be. I'm back. All right. Yeah, that's all cleared out, looking good. A lot better now. Real spacious. We have some leading lines. I'm going to go for this. I'm liking it. So let me apply my LUT. So menu. I'm going to make sure my LUT is getting sent out. All right, I love that. Menu back. All right, so I have my LUT on my monitor. We are all kinds of wacky tobacco right now. Just gonna do an auto white balance, even though I don't have everything in front of me, just letting it absorb the room. Okay, so we have camera up. I like where it's sitting. So now I need to decide how am I gonna do my lighting. So the windows are on this side. So they are camera left, and then camera right is a wall. So I'm gonna motivate the light from here. So let's get a stand up. For that. So what I'm using is Matthews light stands. So this guy right here. Awesome. Always going to put the leg forward of where the light's going to sit so it can't tip over easily. It doesn't want to go this way. And then we're going to have the subject just out of frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this around. I like to do this. That's why I like a big monitor as well, is now I could turn this guy around and guess what? I can see what I'm dealing with. Perfect. All right. So I think he's going to land right about here. Let's see if autofocus is on. There we go. It's on manual focus for an industrial shoot. So I really like this. We'll have a hair light come in and everything. So we're going to continue with the key light. That's going to be this dome and this light. All right. Got the clamp going on. So since this guy is a lightweight stand, I want to put as much weight as possible to keep it from tipping over on the lower end of things. So I'm always going to put my ballast pretty low. I'm going to put it on the same side as my front leg to give it the most support. Luckily, there's a lot of plugs here. I shoot in here all the time, so I know the area real well on the layout. The client is really laid back when it comes to setting up, and they understand the importance of different things. Perfect. All right. So I should have plenty of slack there. I'm going to get it connected. I always forget to plug it in, and I'm like, why isn't my light working? Great. Clean as you go. Don't be cluttered. I'm going to put a shot bag on this guy. Same leg, front leg, all the way. Now that's sturdy. Perfect. Or as other people say, whoops, that ain't going nowhere. Great. Now, why did I opt for the 600X? Because I have another shoot tomorrow in Houston. So I wanted to have flexibility for that one too. And I don't want to have to bring a huge package for that as well. So that's why. So I'm going to get the 600X. I'm going to put this nice box on it. So here's a pro tip on how to set these guys up. And a lot of people say they're a lot harder to set up than the original. This is how I do them. So you're going to spread it out on the ground. You're going to open it up. Make sure the front's nice and clear. Good. So spread it out. Get it into its shape. And then you're just going to press down. I could do this practically one-handed. Should be able to. Like riding a bull. Click. Oops, I'm on this. Now that I'm showing you guys, I'm failing at it, but just clicks in like that. I'll unlock and show it again. Show that I wasn't fooling around. It's spread out on the ground. Come in, push, pull it into place, and it's ready to go. The grid is already on it. I doubt I'm going to use it because I'm going to want plenty of spill, but we'll see. And then this doesn't have to go up too high. There we go. And since I'm tall enough, I'm fine connecting the cable right now. Other people would need to connect it ahead of time. It's all connected. All right, let's fire her up and see if it works. We're running. We're set up good. We're going to get it just out of frame, nice and tight. I'm going to remove this grid. I hope so. There we go. All right. So that's all going to go onto the cart here, out of the way, cleaning up as I go. Going to get it just out of frame. So we're a little hot, so I'm going to bring it down. Probably won't need much. Perfect. We're going to counteract with a little bit of ND. All right. So here's a little moodier look. Okay, we have plenty of output. I'm only at 24%, and I have plenty more to play with. So let's stick this back on the cart. Nice and out of the way. I have stingers here and other goodies. So let's move on to the next thing. We're going to get a stand. This is another Matthew stand right here. And with keeping in line with making things less trippable, I'm bringing this guy over to this side. Goodness. I'm going to hook up the Amaran T2c, and I'm going to use this guy. So it goes straight on the boom. The boom that I will be using is right here, which is an Avengers boom. Avenger. So that's the guy I'm going to use over here. And I know I'll need a shot bag for this. That's a little tight. There we go. You can see it's already wanting to tip over. And I see where we're going to have our mark of him landing about right. I think about right here is a good spot. So here, here, and again, guys, I'll do a full walkthrough of everything close up. Get this guy plugged in here, and then we're going to bring the tube out. If we do darken the overheads, this tube will make up for them. And now I'm going to pull up my phone because I didn't bring my color meter. I'm going to go to an app called Light Meter. So this is the app, and then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to point up at the lights here, and I'm going to see what we're getting as a reading. So if you look closely, right there, we're getting 3359K. So now I'm going to set this light to that 33, 34K. See if we're getting the same readout. It's showing 32, so go a little up. The modifier will change it. 3389, that looks good there. And then I'm going to adjust this guy. And see if it gets the same readout. 37. 3420. 3385. So we have 3 matching lights. This light, and this light. So we have our key, our overheads, and our hair light are all matching. So that's how I do it, quick and easy. Match them up so everything looks good. So now when I look at the monitor, it looks really good. Doesn't look blue. And I haven't even white balanced it, so that's really good. So now I'm going to go back to intensity on this guy, and we're going to take it down. The advantage of a hair light is you get a little bit of separation, and this is actually brighter than what we have overhead, so it will actually play. Oh, that's what I forgot. So you want to have a little control on this. So I like to run the grid. So I put the grid on so it controls the light. The way you can tell it's controlling light, you could see the light through here. You see it, and then it stops. And that's what it does, is it controls the light in that manner. Great. Now we're good. We're cooking. Awesome. So I'm looking at the monitor right now, checking out how the frame looks and see how we're coming along. So we have those items set up. Let's go ahead and set up a stand. So this is an Avenger one. Most of these stands I didn't buy new. I just bought on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, eBay, wherever the case may be. So they're used, offer up. So I don't have a matching set of these. My other stuff I do. So yes, this one's an Avenger. Ugh, it's a little stiff. And the other ones are Matthews. Please don't tell anyone. Keep it our secret. This guy is going to run our boom pole. And since this is a lighter stand, I'm going to go ahead and run our carbon fiber boom pole. That is being mean. Same concept as the other stands. You want to put the weight on the leg or you want to put the weight over the leg. So if the weight is over there, I want the leg to be here. I don't want it to land between them, because you see how easily that falls over? Look, if I push this, it falls easily. If I go here, it's less likely to fall. So that works. Weight on the right side of the knuckle. Let's go ahead and pull up our carbon fiber boom pole. So this is my K-Tech right here with a Sennheiser 416. This little guy here, the tape, helps me see if something pops into frame. So I'm going to go ahead and make it the lightest possible on this end so that we don't have too much weight. And that is good and plenty right there. I'm going to give it a little extra because I can pull it back easily once I get it finalized. There we go. And this guy can go in here. Move it back. Give myself some wiggle room. Make it land-ish right there. Perfect. And then I'm going to put the XLR on it. And with this shoot, this XLR cable is going to go straight into the camera. And that's what I've been running lately, is just a boom, because it's quick. You don't have to fiddle with people's stuff, what they're wearing, and you just really have to pay attention to what's happening and that you're getting a good audio, and have those headphones on the whole time. These are short and simple, so I don't really worry too much, because it's not something that's going to easily go on for hours and you could be overlooking something. And then I'm going to put a shot bag on this guy. All right, so we have the boom set up. All right, boom set up. We got that set up. We've got my hair light set up. I'm going to go ahead and turn the hair light off because I'm not running a power to it, so I don't want it to die. And then cleaning as I go, very important. And then I have this here to bring up the levels in the back of the room here, and you'll see that once it's set up, you'll see it popping. Blue is a color that's used by the company, so I'm going to get another stand. I don't know if you could see the blue area. Oh, right there. Yeah, so right there you see there's a little bit of blue, so I'm actually going to be a little further, but you'll see it in the frame once it's set up. So I'm not going to move the camera now. Got a Matthews stand here. I wish it was black, not silver, but hey, we're good. And then we're going to take the 60D and do a pop of light in the background. I guess I'll turn the camera just a little bit. Let's see if it goes the way that I ask it to. Oh, no, it's reversed. There we go. So I'm going to be putting the pop of light over there where the blue is in the frame. And then when I get in front of the camera, I will connect everything to the app and make sure that everyone can see everything. What's cool about this light is it comes with like barn doors, a lot of cool features, so it makes it so easy. So when I come over here and I want to cut the light and prevent it from spilling everywhere, and I want it to hit the blue, maybe a little bit of the wood, I'm able to do that without issue. This one comes with like a V-mount setup, so if you want to run batteries to it, it's great. It's a good little light. Keep trying to use them more and more. Sometimes you get into old habits and you're like, I'm just going to stick with what I have. It works. And you forget that, you can be creative sometimes. And that's what I have to remind myself. All right. That light is set up. We're plugged up because we have power close by, fired up. I'm going to go with 5600 to make the blue more blue. And then we're going to go up full intensity. There we go. And now I'm going to cut it. And that's what I need to do, is I need to adjust the light a little more. And then Cut it just right. Liking that. That looks good. Am I in frame with the light itself? Maybe just slightly. Just get it over a little bit more. That's looking good. So I'm going to leave the case for this guy here. So it's right next to it in case I need any of the other elements. All right, so y'all can see right there that it's lit up. Cart's in the way a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and connect to the Sidus Link app. And the reason is then I can demonstrate to everyone exactly how everything is going. So I'm going to create a new scene. And then I'm going to rename it. I'm just going to say YouTube vlog. Woo! Okay, so I'm going to connect to it. So I have it here. And then I'm going to go here. And then what you do is from that, you go to add and then new fixture. And it's going to be searching for a new fixture. So I'm going to go over here and connect this guy first. You go into menu, Bluetooth reset, yes. And it should be searching. So that one's getting reset. Added, done. Next one I'm going to come to is the light right here. So now I'm going to center everything back up, or at least move it a little bit better. There you go. You can see the whole world there, I think. Yeah, that should work. Now I'm going to add another one. So I'm going to go to menu. Add fixture. Oh, there we go. 600X. And then we're going to do the tube light. Turn on our tube light. And then go to menu. Bluetooth reset, yes. Okay, add. We have the tube. Those are our three lights. And you're wondering, three lights. We have background, we have key light, and we have hair light. What are we missing? What are we missing? We're missing a fill. And I love to use a bounce for fill. Let me see if all these work. All lights on, off, all lights on. Perfect. I like to use a bounce. So that's what this guy is for. So I'm going to bring this stand up here, and we're going to install a bounce. And this is going to be real simple. The reason I like to use bounces is they just feel really natural. Your light's already going to be soft coming off of your key. If you do a soft key, it's going to be even softer when it comes back as a bounce for your fill. So I'm trying a new method today. I have these guys. These are like 5-in-1 holders, modifiers. Instead of bringing in a head and getting a little crazy with it, I decided to do this. So we'll see how it turns out, see how nice it is to me. So trying to keep it lightweight. The reason I'm trying to keep it lightweight is few reasons. I can go bigger, and sometimes it's not necessary, and it'd be good to really have a lightweight kit whenever I can use it. So that's one of the reasons. And then the other reason is I know a lot of you guys don't have the ability to get heavy kit, big kit that's just oversized. because you may have a smaller vehicle, you may not have the budget, or you may not want to get it because you feel it's kind of pointless. And I get it. So that's why I've been kind of adapting my kit on these smaller shoots to kind of fit the kind of overall feel of our community and people that watch the channel. So we're gonna go here and it's gonna click in. Awesome. And then this guy comes up. And it bites on there. And now we have our bounce, which is just foam core, simple foam core bounce, and then I can adjust it. But it's lightweight. Now that's going to kind of block what y'all see, but I'm going to make a quick adjustment down here. I got to clean up. Put a bag on this for safety, just to be super safe if we want to. And then now we've got everything cleared. So I'm going to move the cart out of the way. Well, now that's heavy. I'm going to move the cart out of the way so we could start finalizing the shot. So we're 30 minutes in to building out. Let me check exactly. 34 minutes. So all right, so this is the setup. We have our key light in, we have our hair light, we have a bounce, and then we have that background light right over there. What I'm gonna start with is these guys. They're oil absorbing wipes. And what they do is they remove the oil on your skin. They're really great. They're better than doing makeup on guys a lot of times because guys don't want makeup. That's a lot of steps. You just hand them one of these or a few of them. You tell them to blot their nose, their cheeks, and then their forehead will get extra oily and gross. And if it gets oily like this, then you know it's doing its job and it's removing that sheen so you don't get those specular highlights that you don't want in a soft interview setup. So I'm going to drop these guys to the ground and we're going to go over the lighting that we have going on here. So let's start with nothing. I'm going to open the Sidus Link app. I have the actual 3 lights that we're using connected here on the app. So I'm going to start with the, let's just turn them all off. Let's see what it looks like with all the lights off. This is what it looks like with all the lights off. There's not lights on, there's just the overheads that are in this space. You're not gonna get the best look. If you look at the false color, it's not very pleasing. So let's turn on the background light and see how much that pops. So I'm gonna turn that one on first and show you how that plays. And that's the backlight on, and then off, and then again on. And then I'm gonna go ahead and go to the hair light and show you how that one plays and turn that guy on. And I'm gonna make sure, yep, there it is. I'm letting it hit my shoulders and I could adjust it a little bit more and bring it in and let it hit, but that's on or off and then on just a little bit. So I gotta watch out for these guys here on me. Receding hairline, and you don't wanna get that on the subject. If you see here, that's not going to look good when you have that happening constantly in an interview. So I want to make sure that it's just a touch on the shoulders and gives me a little bit of a pop. And you can see actually hitting right here, give me a little bit of a hair light. And you can see it in the false color when it goes on and off. So that's off. And then that is on. So we know what that does. Now let's look at the key light and see what it's doing. And there's the key light. We're going for a flat look. It's corporate. We don't want moody. We have the bounce here. Now let me show you something really cool. So you see the key light on. We have the ultra, or not an ultra bounce. It's actually a foam core, but we'll call it ultra bounce or bounce. Look what it does when I remove it from the actual scene and see what it's doing over here. So pay attention and look at the false colors change. There. And then I'm going to move it back and you can see what it's doing. It's going to come back in. There you go. So you can see that it's actually changing things up. Now, normally when you're doing interviews, a lot of times they're not straight to camera. So also consider how the light is hitting you when you're not going straight to camera. So they'd be looking this way a lot of times. So you can see how it's going to play. And then we're going to pull that guy out. And then we're going to pull that guy in to play. So now I'm looking at the light this way, and you can see how light's hitting me different and reacting differently from me looking straight on. It's really hard because a lot of times you'll get real sidesy from doing it straight on. You'll get a 50-50. You'll get one side that's bright and one side that's dark, and it's straight down the middle. And that doesn't look good all the time. And that is a look, and it's your choice. But that just shows you what the light is doing. So let's go ahead and introduce the tube light. And let's look at the false color now and see if that tube light is actually playing. Hello. Good, good. We are looking good. So we've got everything set up. So I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to show you how it looks. So let's start with nothing. I'm going to open the Sidus Link app. I have the actual 3 lights that we're using connected here on the app. So I'm going to start with the, let's just turn them all off. Let's see what it looks like with all the lights off. This is what it looks like with all the lights off. There's not lights on. There's just the overheads that are in this space. You're not going to get the best look. If you look at the false color, it's not very pleasing. So let's turn on the background light and see how much that pops. So I'm going to turn that one on first and show you how that plays. And that's the backlight on, and then off, and then again on. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to the hair light and show you how that one plays, and turn that guy on. And I'm going to make sure, yep, there it is. I'm letting it hit my shoulders, and I could adjust it a little bit more and bring it in and let it hit, but that's on or off and then on just a little bit. So I got to watch out for these guys here on me. Receding hairline, and you don't want to get that on the subject. If you see here, that's not going to look good when you have that happening constantly in an interview. So I want to make sure that it's just a touch on the shoulders and gives me a little bit of a pop. And you can see actually hitting right here, give me a little bit of a hair light. And you can see it in the false color when it goes on and off. So that's off, and then that is on. So we know what that does. Now let's look at the key light and see what it's doing. And there's the key light. We're going for a flat look. It's corporate. We don't want moody. We have the bounce here. Now let me show you something really cool. So you see the key light on. We have the ultra, or not an ultra bounce. It's actually a foam core, but we'll call it ultra bounce or bounce. Look what it does when I remove it from the actual scene, and see what it's doing over here. So pay attention and look at the false colors change there. And then I'm going to move it back, and you can see what it's doing. It's going to come back in. There you go. So you can see that it's actually changing things up. Now, normally when you're doing interviews, a lot of times they're not straight to camera. So also consider how the light is hitting you when you're not going straight to camera. So they'd be looking this way a lot of times. So you can see how it's going to play. And then we're going to pull that guy out. And then we're going to pull that guy in to play. So now I'm looking at the light this way, and you can see how light's hitting me different and reacting differently from me looking straight on. It's really hard because a lot of times you'll get real sidesy from doing it straight on. You'll get a 50-50. You'll get one side that's bright and one side that's dark, and it's straight down the middle. And that doesn't look good all the time. And that is a look, and it's your choice. But that just shows you what the light is doing. So let's go ahead and introduce the tube light. And let's look at the false color now and see if that tube light is actually playing. Hello. Good, good.
How are we looking?
We are looking good. So we've got everything set up. So I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to show you how it looks. This is our setup. This is from behind the camera. Let's start with the camera. We have the Sony FX6 with the Atomos Shogun Connect monitor. And then we are running the Sony 50mm 1.2. We have it set to f2 on the camera. Here's our settings. We're running a Tilta Mirage matte box and a Tilta cage. For this system, we have a Sattler Ace XL pod. Lighting, we have an Aputure 600X Pro with a Light Dome 3. It is set to 20% at 3600 Kelvin. That is getting us around 3400 Kelvin, which is what our ceiling is getting, our ceiling lights, the room lights. And then we have an Amaran T2c with 45-degree grid with an Avenger D600 boom holding it up, running a Matthews stand with camera script shot bags all the way around. And then we have an Aputure 60D for our background light right there. It's at 5600 to give it a more of a blue pop at 100%. And then we have our Ultra Bounce right here, which is just foam core. And there's our card over there. We have a mark. So you put feet on both sides. And you know that that's straight ahead. And that's what we have. That's a wrap. So I am going to pack everything up. I'm going to bring you guys along. You can see what happens, how long it takes me. It's 1:10. We actually had the person we were interviewing was actually 20 minutes behind. We're still good on time. Everything was done. We actually filmed everything in less than 10 minutes. That's with the 2 run-through rehearsals, adjusting the lighting, adjusting the mic, getting everything situated with the frame. And then we went through everything. So, I mean, honestly, it took less than 10 minutes to get it done. So 30 minutes set up with a little bit of fidangles. And then after that, we ran through everything quickly. So yes, I could have been here with an hour of setup, but I give myself wiggle room. So there was a lot of hanging out, but that gave me the ability to walk through everything with you guys and show you what's going on and also stand in front of the camera.